Grand Central Terminal. Opened in 1913, this temple of transportation is featured in many classic films, like Alfred Hitchcock's North by Northwest. Just like Cary Grant did in the film, we are going to escape New York by train. The sprawling Metro-North Railroad has 5 different lines. Today, we will take the rails up the scenic Hudson River. Along the way, we can see the progress being made on the brand new Tappan Zee Bridge, which will open soon, replacing the original 1950s structure. Well, here we are again, riding a train to the end of the line. It was such a pleasure to go through the magnificent Grand Central Terminal. Now we're on the Hudson River line on Metro-North Railroad. Our next stop and final stop on the line, historic Poughkeepsie, New York. Let's see what we can find. Upon arrival at Poughkeepsie Station, you can't help but notice the resemblance to Grand Central. Built in 1918, the architecture pays homage to its older cousin in New York. These classic waiting room benches are made from American chestnut, an extinct tree. Abraham Lincoln's train stopped in Poughkeepsie when he was campaigning for president in 1860. And in 1865, his funeral train stopped here. Our first destination is one of 2 bridges we will cross today. Just look at it soar above the Hudson. To get there, we will ride this convenient elevator that brings us from the banks of the Hudson to the surface above, sparing us several miles of walking. We are standing 212 feet above the Hudson River on the Hudson River Walk, connecting Poughkeepsie, New York with Highland, New York. The bridge opened to rail traffic on January 1st, 1889. And unfortunately suffered a track fire in 1974 and has been closed to rail traffic since. Thankfully, in 2009, the community rebuilt the bridge and opened it as a rail trail. Let's check it out. Here is Poughkeepsie before the bridge was built, and then shortly afterward. This made Poughkeepsie a hub with tracks running east-west and north-south. The bridge is a multi-span cantilever truss bridge, and it's a National Historic Civil Engineering landmark. It was an amazing accomplishment at the time it was built. During World War II, the bridge was heavily guarded because of the role it played in transporting war freight and troops. Today, hikers, bikers, and trikers alike all enjoy the rail trail. A unicycle. And a quadricycle? Okay, hikers and cyclists alike all enjoy the rail trail. And man's best friend, too. From up here, we get a spectacular view of a freight train heading north. Freight trains run on the west side of the Hudson, while primarily passenger trains run on the east side. At the Highland end of the bridge is a pleasant spot to have a refreshment before continuing along the path. Now on the western side of the Hudson, we head down these stairs to Franny Reese State Park, a wilderness area with paths that meander up the steep bank. The park is named for a local conservationist who helped protect the lands along the Hudson. There are babbling brooks, stone walls, wildflowers, wells, and the ruins of Cedar Glen, the bucolic estate of dental pioneer Charles H. Roberts, who made a fortune by developing a chemical process that destroyed the exposed nerves of teeth, thus introducing painless dentistry. It revolutionized the field and made Roberts a lot of money, which he spent on his estate that included 2 mansions and a windmill. After the mid-Hudson Bridge was built, Roberts' elderly heirs were geographically cut off from the rest of the area, and when they died, the remaining buildings fell into deep disrepair and the grounds became overgrown, obscuring the once spectacular view. This state park opened the same year as the Hudson River Walk and is linked to a local network of hiking trails. We have now arrived at the scenic overlook, and that bridge is our next destination. This beautiful suspension bridge is the Franklin Delano Roosevelt Mid-Hudson Bridge, or just the Mid-Hudson Bridge for short. FDR and Eleanor were here at the ribbon cutting in 1930. It costs $1.50 to drive your car over it today, but it's free to walk. So let's walk back over the Hudson and take our train back to the city. Walking over the bridge, you can notice that stiffening trusses were constructed on top of the road deck instead of below, which is more common. A total of 3 lanes of traffic carry US Route 44 and New York State 55 over the crossing. The middle lane switches direction depending on rush hour. In 2009, Joseph Bertolozzi released a CD called Bridge Music, in which he plays the Mid-Hudson Bridge like a percussive musical instrument, beating on several parts of the bridge with mallets made from an array of materials. The work was created for New York's 400th anniversary observance of Henry Hudson's voyage up the Hudson River. The 2 bridges, the Hudson River Walk and the Mid-Hudson Bridge, serve as majestic bookends along this stretch of the Hudson. We are back in Poughkeepsie and bound for New York on the next train. Our next adventure takes us to the end of the line of yet another commuter railroad, New Jersey Transit. Until then, pick some tracks and stay on the rails.